everyone! I just wanted to give you a brief heads up before you started listening to this episode. We had a couple audio issues, and unfortunately my sound file is going to sound a little bit like it's through a phone. It's still a great episode, I'm very proud of it, and Gene was a very amazing and gracious guest. And now, on with the show. In the world of Hollywood, movies get greenlit and redlit. They get remade and rebooted. But we are the ideal. I'm Sam Gasch, and you are listening to Ideal Remake.
Let's say you're on a boat and you happen to fall off the side of the boat and you find yourself drifting in the water. What's the first thing you do?
I wait for Mr. Fat Jack to go get the little boat.
Good answer.
Thank you.
We're talking about Splash with special guest Gene Gabriel. I combined guest and Gene. Welcome to the show, Gene.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, and then we'll talk about how we came upon this movie in particular.
Okay. I'm an actor. I've been an actor for a very long time, and now a filmmaker. Yeah, I live in New Jersey. But I met Sam through what became The Sauce, an improv troupe that we were both in.
Yeah, Gene is a fantastically talented actor, but also improviser. And he's very, very funny and helped make The Sauce the grand success that it was.
Well, thank you. So did you, Sam.
Thank you.
You were welcome.
So we spent a little bit of time going back and forth trying to figure out what movie it was you wanted to do. As I apparently alluded to in the Big Trouble Little China episode, you originally wanted to do Buckaroo Banzai.
Of course. So
before I talk about Splash, why Buckaroo Banzai?
Because it's bananas. It's insane and
correct.
bananas. And I used to have it on VHS. And I must have watched Buckaroo Banzai 50 times.
I will forever be getting to the bottom of what people see in that movie. But you know what? I'm glad you like it.
No, I like it because it's bananas.
Yeah. And I think that's an amazing reason to like a movie. I mean, it's a movie that no other movie can be like because it just goes crazy.
Yeah. It's nuts. Like, why is New Jersey dressed like a cowboy? You know, all kinds of things like that.
All kinds of questions.
Yeah.
But we ended up settling on Splash. When did you first see Splash?
I must have seen Splash. When did it come out? In 82? So I probably saw it did I see Splash 84. In the theaters? I think I saw Splash in the theaters. And
so this is one of Tom Hanks's first movie roles, right?
Yeah, it's kind of one that put him on the map. Before this was Bachelor Party, which I also saw in theaters, but I saw it in a place called the Mayfair, where you used to get a $2.50 double feature. That's two movies for $2.50.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I remember when I was a kid growing up, on Tuesdays, it would be Dollar Tuesdays at the Dollar Theaters.
Nice.
And pay $1, go see a movie.
Those are amazing.
I loved it.
Yep.
I don't know if they still have Dollar Theaters in New Jersey and California, but keep the dream alive, right?
Yep.
And so, obviously, you have very fond memories of Splash, but, what made you go back to it? What makes you go back to this movie in your head? Because I saw movies when I was a kid that I wouldn't remember having seen until someone mentioned it, but you brought up Splash, so tell me about your connection to the movie.
It's just one of those, I think it's Ron Howard's, second or third movie that he directed.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, the first one was Night Shift, and then there was this one, and I don't know. I loved when I was a kid, I loved the comedy in this, and we still quote it to this day. I still very much quote. Obviously my response that was not planned. Mr. Fat Jack and the little boat. The little boat. It's just things like that. I don't know. It just resonated with me. I really enjoyed the movie.
Fat Jack was not in this movie very long, but I didn't recast him, but he was such a memorable character.
Yeah, he left quite an impression.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And he's just it's just a couple miles, I'll swim it. What? It makes no sense. I get that you're buoyant, but it's a couple miles, man.
I know.
And we never go back, so I'm legit curious what happens when Fat Jack eventually gets there with the little boat.
I don't know. Maybe that's a completely different movie.
I would watch that movie.
Maybe someone will make this film.
But what's also significant is this is the first time that Tom Hanks finds himself alone on a deserted island. But
Yes.
it turns out not really completely alone.
Exactly. Yes. No Wilson this time, but absolutely. And no FedEx packages.
Yeah. No purpose.
Exactly.
And actually, it just occurred to me, like, when Madison leaves Alan Bauer on the beach and kind of when she steps out onto the Statue of Liberty, she kind of steps directly out of the water, right?
Yeah. Out of that.
But then later in the movie, when she gets wet even a little bit, it immediately, her legs turn back into a tail.
Yeah.
That just occurred to me, and that's a serious flaw.
Are you questioning the logic of Splash, Sam?
I might be questioning the logic of Splash. What are you going to do about it?
I don't know, man. Bocce balls! That's all I could think about.
Bocce balls!
Yeah.
I didn't do any research on this movie, and I watched it for the first time for this show, as I do many of the movies on this. But, like, when John Candy showed up, I was legitimately delighted to see him.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, he plays not a good person, but, like, it's John Candy. You can't hate John Candy.
Yeah. And by the end, he's kind of redeemed himself.
I mean, he sacrifices himself for the greater good, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then, like, his moment where he turns and says, "You found love. People don't find that. I will never find that." And it's just this moment of just, like, raw, just, like bearing his soul to his brother. And just, like, that moment was so powerful. And I loved it.
Yeah. And it explains exactly why Freddy is the way he is.
Yeah.
You know? And then I love the fact that he caps that, like he takes it to the height of emotion, you know, I'll never be that, most people will never be that happy. I'll never be that happy. And then he brings us back to comedy with Mrs. Stimler.
Yeah.
He's going to go talk to crazy Mrs. Stimler.
Oh man, crazy Mrs. Stimler. What is her deal?
She got struck by lightning.
Yeah. I would also watch her movie.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
The crazy old lady who gets struck by lightning and then goes back into work. I want to know all
played by the
about
amazing Dottie Goodman, who was
yeah. Oh god, she was so good.
Yeah.
But I was going through it, and there really are only 5 characters that I recast for this.
Yeah. See, I recast a few more. I went a little deeper.
All right. Well, I'm excited to talk about that. But let's talk about this movie as a whole, because this movie, I don't know if it would work exactly as is today.
No. Well, they already sort of did a remake. It's called Shape of Water.
That's the thing. Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was talking to someone today, and this movie came out before The Little Mermaid, right?
Yeah.
And that alone blew my mind, because I'm like, oh yeah, okay, people talk about mermaids, here's the rules. But this is like before people did that.
Yeah.
But okay, so this came out, and then we get the kids' movie version of it.
Yeah.
And it's basically the same. Mermaid shows up, all of a sudden she has land, all of a sudden she has lands, all of a sudden she has legs, but she can't talk, but until she can.
Exactly.
Sort of the same movie, ends in true love and magic and going back to the ocean.
Yeah. Except that, the Little Mermaid, she gets legs, and in this one, he goes with her.
That was such an interesting choice. How quickly do you think he's going to regret that decision?
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, like, they're swimming towards what I assume is Atlantis, right?
That's what it looked like. Like, did you watch through the credits?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like Atlantis to me.
Like, they're swimming towards Atlantis, and then, like, so I have this moment of, I want that movie. I want to know about I would totally watch a reverse of this movie, where it's the dude from the land coming to live under the sea, wish I could be under the sea. And they go live in Atlantis, and it's a fish out of water, except, an opposite of a fish out of water, whatever you want to call that.
It's a man in water?
Sure.
Okay.
It's a bird in the surf.
There you go. Wow. 2 in the hand. What? No. There are a lot of movies that could spin off of this one. Obviously that would have been a great sequel, like him adapting to being underwater. and perhaps regretting his decision to spend the rest of his life because, in when you look at something like The Shape of Water, well, she's got nothing and no reason to stay. Mm-hmm. So it's okay for her to go with him. But he's got his brother and his business and his life. I don't know, although his brother is the only thing he has.
It's true. I mean, it's the only thing he cares about.
Yeah.
But what I would do is if I was remaking this, I would start the movie later. I wouldn't start with the 20 years ago at Cape Cod. I would start basically with him getting broken up with and going to the wedding, and then he just kind of finds himself living this weird life. And I want us to also not really know if she's a mermaid. It's just this weird lady.
Oh, right. Find out in the middle.
Yeah. And when she's in the bathtub and I would even not show her tail when she's in the bathtub, and we just see the outside of the door, and we also have no idea what's going on. We can assume, and we can certainly make references in its splash so we know.
Right.
But we don't find out she's a mermaid for real until he does. That's how I would do this.
That'd be cool. But you'd still have to start it with Wooly Bully.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
that's the rule.
You have to start a movie with Wooly Bully, for sure.
That was such a weird pull. I mean, that could literally be playing at the wedding.
Yeah. There you go. Perfect.
What sort of wedding doesn't play Wooly Bully? A terrible wedding. I answered my own question.
Correct. You are a winner.
What is Walter Kornbluth, Eugene Levy, who I was also delighted to. I was like, oh my God, Eugene Levy.
Right.
What is his deal?
He wants recognition in the scientific community.
Right. But he starts the movie looking for mermaids.
Pretty much, yeah. And then he kind of sees one when he's out with the moron twins.
I mean, can you imagine being the guy who spent your entire life looking for something, and then when it finally shows up in front of you, you drop your camera?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God, that poor guy.
Yep. And I really enjoyed the fact that he kept on taking pictures of that couple and getting beat up by that guy.
That was so funny. Just finding them on the other side of the elevator. Oh, that killed me. He's just having some kind of week.
Yep. What a week I'm having.
What a week I'm having. I love it.
Yeah.
But then that's it. So we've got our comedy, we've got our sexy, because it's obviously a sex comedy and all that.
Yeah.
But what else is necessary for you for this movie? Talk to me about what you see as the essence of Splash.
It's that sort of forbidden romance. The two people from completely different backgrounds have to be together at all costs. So it's right. the romantic, aside from the sex, it's a romantic comedy, right? It's that whole love trumps everything.
Right.
That.
I like it. I think that's good.
Yeah.
And for a remake, what are the important parts of the movie that you say we need to keep no matter what?
Well, I think the relationship with the brother, I think the fact that he was broken up with is essential. I get why they started the movie when he's a kid, because that's when he first sees her, right? Mm-hmm. She saves him. And then that's always a nugget in his mind for the rest of his life.
Right.
So I
like the idea of flashing back to it. I don't know if I want to start with it, though.
True, you could flash back to it. I think it's essential, but you could totally flash back.
I don't think it shouldn't have happened. I do like that it happened as well, but I think it should be a flashback because I like when the mystery is real. I like not necessarily being in on it if I don't have to be.
Right. That's cool. I'm good with that.
And then there's also just this image of this poor little girl just treading water in the ocean and crying. And I was like, no, this poor little girl.
Yeah.
Because they see each other, love at first sight, and they're 8, and it's real and it's happening right away.
Yeah.
But I'd love it if he fell in the water and no one realized. And then they realize 20 minutes later, oh God, where's this kid? Where's this kid? We don't know where he is. He found it. And then she brings him and puts him back on the boat. And she saves his life.
True, but then he would have terrible parents. Then you have a different movie.
Well, I mean,
because if they don't know where the 8-year-old is for 20 minutes.
Look, just because you're saying that as a parent. I mean, what if the kid said, I'm going to go grab a soda, and you're like, we trust you, 8-year-old, you can go grab a soda, and then he didn't go grab a soda? No? All right, fine.
Well, if he came back with a soda, I guess everything would be all right.
Or didn't come back with a soda at all. Actually, that would be really funny as well. Like, he says, I'm going to go grab a soda. He accidentally falls in the water. He meets this mermaid. She saves his life, brings him back. He walks back up to the top of the boat. He's sopping wet. His parents look at him and say, so where's the soda?
That would work.
I'm not necessarily opposed to him having terrible parents.
True.
Are you particularly connected to those parents as people? Do they speak to you emotionally?
No, they don't speak to me emotionally at all. They're just placeholders.
Ooh, burn.
Ooh, I took it out on the parents.
But like, I wanted to see a little bit of. I'm trying to decide if I want to see the other end of it. If Act 1 is they meet, they're falling in love, and they're realizing that they're meant to be together. Act 2 is captured and escape from the government and Eugene Levy and all of that. But then Act 3 is they've escaped and now they're in Atlantis, and it's the exact same as Act 2 but reversed.
So like,
I'm trying.
So like her people want to do experiments on him, or
Yeah, why not?
Interesting.
And despite not being accepted by either of their cultures, they go find their own way.
In Milwaukee.
And like,
yeah, no, I like it.
And especially because, I mean, the movie's what, an hour 45?
Yeah, something like that.
Which,
right.
Honestly, that's probably about the right length, although we've got a little bit of time to play with. But like, not a lot happens by modern standards. Like a lot of modern movies, it's thing happening.
Yeah.
And my pitch would certainly be a little bit more of that, but I'm trying to decide if that's right for this movie.
You know what I would like to see? I would have liked to have seen her growing up or her side underwater.
Yeah.
And how she has that nugget, because obviously she has come up looking for him.
Right.
And why now?
That's true. I don't know.
Yeah, I would like to know why now. You know, I know she saw him at the Cape and realized that it's the same person, but why surface now? And if she can do that, if she can surface whenever she wants to, then why can't he come and like visit Freddy?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, she said she only can do this once, right? Like she gets 6 days, period, the end.
Right.
And then once she goes back forever. Like she only got that one opportunity.
Wow, you only get one vacation as a mermaid. That's
what it sounded like. That's the impression that I got.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he didn't get a tail. He still had legs.
Yeah, that's true.
But as long as he was with her, he was fine.
He was.
So
good.
now are they just literally inseparable? Otherwise, he will die?
That would be horrifying, too.
Yeah.
No alone time for you, Alan.
And, like, I kept watching this movie, and the one thought that kept coming back to me was, how long can these people hold their breath?
I know.
That, like, those actors were good. I mean, her specifically, I guess.
Yeah.
Blanking on her name, and I feel terrible.
Black Mamba. No, Daryl Hannah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was great. What do you mean, Black Mamba?
That's who she is in, like, Kill Bill Volume 2 or something like that. Black Mamba.
Of course. You know, well-known character. Black Mamba.
Yeah, no, she's great. So it sounds like you actually liked the film. You enjoyed it. Did you?
I did. I had a nice time. I have a lot of problems with this movie because basically the lead female character, her entire reason for being is as this person who's in love with Tom Hanks. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, but I have no sense of what her life is other than pining for this one guy.
Right. We should see that.
Like, what's her mermaid job? What does she do for a mermaid living?
Right. Exactly.
Obviously, they have a society, and she's going back to a city. So, like, what is she doing? How does she function as this person in her life outside of just being devoted to this one dude?
Right. What is her place? Is she a princess? Is she a worker? Does she have her own underwater fruit company?
Yeah.
To parallel him?
Weird. Oh, man, that'd be so funny.
So many things in common.
But I'm like, fruit.
That'd be good. But no, I get it. Yeah, you should see more of her life. More of why she chose him, why she picked her. She knows she only has 6 days ever in her whole existence.
Right.
Why gamble that away on this dude?
And I get, like, if it's the way their culture works is they're magical beings, and when they meet the person, they just know, period, the end.
Right. But that'd be fine if we knew that. Yeah.
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 And obviously she's brilliant because she picks up language and she learns all this stuff almost immediately.
Yeah.
And are all mermaids that smart, or is she specifically that smart?
Right.
Because she's able to, based on the information in his wallet, his address, and then like a map, track down where he lives.
Yeah.
She gets from Cape Cod to New York City pretty quickly.
Yeah, she's good like that. Maybe she's an underwater detective.
Yeah. I would watch that movie.
Yep. She's a mermaid detective. That's her job.
Add it to the list of movies that I would definitely watch.
The Mermaid Detective.
Mermaid Detective. Solving sea crimes.
That's awesome. She's an ex-SEAL.
Too good. I'm trying to think of a good pun tagline. It's a tuna fun. Don't flounder around. You've got to see this mermaid detective. So when the Queen of the Sea gets keel hauled, there's only one mermaid for the case.
I'm gonna let you have all those. She's having a whale of a time.
So I heard someone say this, and I'm not 100% sure it's true, but prior to this movie, did you know anyone with the name of Madison, or is the name Madison only popular because of the movie Splash?
I feel like that name became popular because of the movie Splash.
I mean, that's insane, right?
Yeah, that is pretty nuts.
I know Madisons now, but like they're all younger than this movie.
Of course. Yeah, Madison was not a popular name until after I saw this movie. Then I started to see Madison's pop up. So it may have a direct connection for sure. Because this film was successful, and it did. And like I said, I know a lot of people actually that quote this movie constantly. I cannot hear the name Madison without saying Madison. So I understand. I get it.
I mean, it's a successful movie. It had a budget of $8 million, and it grossed $70 million just about.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
That's pretty, and by today's standards, that's a whole heck of a lot more.
So what successful sex comedy did you name your daughter after?
Harper's Bazaar. No, none. Yeah.
Not sticking with trends, I guess.
Yeah. No, we didn't go that route.
I'm looking at the Splash movie poster, and I'm realizing that that's the World Trade Center in the picture, and I didn't realize that until just now.
Yep.
I also really like that she got him the fountain. That's in the poster too, but like that was such a sweet thing.
I love that she got him the fountain. I love her reaction to when he gives her a gift and it's just the box.
Yeah.
She's like, it's beautiful.
Yeah. I love it. She kisses the box.
Yeah.
Like, and then the fact that she sold her necklace. I don't remember looking at her necklace and thinking it was particularly valuable, but I don't see why not.
Right. Yeah, it could be totally like a pearl necklace.
Yeah, it could have been. It might have been gold. Who knows?
You never know.
All right. So if we're talking remake and we're talking sex comedy, whatever, do we go full sex comedy again, or do we lean more into the romantic comedy? What would you rate Splash if you were to remake it today? Because I don't know if you could do kind of the same swimming around topless that you did in the 80s today.
Right. But you never see nipple on her.
Yeah, you do.
When?
I don't know. I'm single.
You did.
Single, so I assure you, yes, you did.
No one else did, but you did, Sam.
No, it's pretty. It's not. Yes, you do.
You see her butt talks for sure, but
I mean, whenever she's out of the water, you can't. But when she's in the water, you can.
You can see the nipple times.
Oh yeah, all over the place.
Well, you could still rate that PG-13.
Can you? I don't necessarily know the rules.
I don't know.
That's still PG-13 qualifying?
People seem to be deathly afraid of nipples these days. But you can watch somebody get autopsied on TV at any given time. But a nipple will destroy someone's brain, I guess.
When I was a kid, I saw a nipple, and I've never been the same.
I've never been the same, even though that's what I was sucking on to survive when I was a baby. Yeah.
Gene Gabriel.
Direct
quote.
You can still be very creative with how you.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
You can still be like a PG-13. I would love to see a good rom-com. I would love to see a good romantic comedy.
Yeah, I would too.
It's been a long time since I've seen one.
Yeah, I was trying to look up for my director and writer who good romantic comedy people would be, and there haven't been that many that came out recently.
No, it's true. Well, this one was. Isn't this Bob? Who wrote? Isn't this like Babalu Mandel and Lowell Gans? That pair that wrote this.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I love all their stuff, though.
What else have they done?
Oh man, you should be kind of like everything.
Multiplicity.
Yeah, and they. I feel like they wrote a lot on Laverne and Shirley and Happy Days and things like that. They were just funny.
They wrote The Tooth Fairy. The Rock was in 2010.
The Tooth Fairy.
Classics. Stuart Little 2. Ed TV.
Ed TV was funny.
I've never seen Ed TV.
Oh, yeah, it was funny.
Isn't it basically The Truman Show?
Yeah, but Ed TV, didn't it come out before The Truman Show?
I think so.
Or was it at the same time? Was it one of those deals where, like, the studios had the same property at the same time?
The Truman Show was 1998. Ed TV was 1999.
Oh, see, yeah. It's one of those deals. Like Wyatt Earp and Tombstone.
Or Ants and A Bug's Life.
Yep, same thing. I got you.
So I sent you a message on Facebook as I was watching this movie, and I think what I said was, man, there are a lot of people in this movie not playing to the top of their intelligence.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, Eugene Levy's two assistants at the beginning, kind of their parents.
Yeah.
Mrs. Stimler. All of these different characters. This entire world is populated by really dummies.
Yeah.
I mean, even Eugene Levy to an extent. And I was thinking, like, that's the only world where magical creatures like this can exist because people are too dumb to realize that these people are in the world.
Exactly.
And I'm kind of okay with that.
Me too. I don't mind that people are stupid.
Yeah. But, like, it was just so noticeable. I'm like, wow, everyone in this movie is so dumb.
The Moron Twins and Buck Walter.
Yeah.
Private Buck Walter.
But some of them were, like, dumb but highly competent.
Yep.
Like, Fat Sal or whatever his name was.
Fat Jack.
Fat Jack.
Yep.
Fat Jack was dumb, but, like, capable enough to swim for 2 miles.
Yeah.
Or so dumb that he doesn't realize that he can't.
Right. It just didn't bother him, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
He was not bothered at all. Where are you going, Mr. Fat Jack? To get the little boat. The little boat! You know.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And then, like, when Madison is in the department store and they try to kick her out and she just doesn't respond. I'm like, well, she just said she didn't respond. Yes. Like, they're at a total loss as to what to do.
I also feel like that always played to me, that particular exchange between those guys, that she was, because she's so hot, that they were like, well, she's good.
Yeah.
You know, one of those situations where, like, yeah, she's doing aerobics in the, she doesn't want to leave.
Yep.
And they're okay with it. The biggest problem I ever had with Splash was, who's going to pay for all those TVs?
Yeah. Because she low-key has superpowers, right?
I mean, basically, she can communicate, obviously, with her lungs, she can communicate with fish, and it's super loud. So yeah, basically.
But then, like, she also, I mean, there are superheroes where their entire power is like a sonic scream. I mean, that's basically Black Canary's whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So she full on has superpowers, but there's no consequence for the TVs. That's a big problem. Like, they should have run out.
Yeah, there was no you break it, you bought it.
No, they should have just ran out. As soon as she broke the TVs, we got to go.
Yeah.
You know? But they didn't. They were just standing there.
My problem, and I can't decide if I want to keep it or throw it away, is like when she gets out of the water at Liberty Island and she's walking across and then she's immediately swarmed by a bunch of dudes. Part of me is like, well, that's super sketchy, creepy, and weird. But the other part of me is like, yeah, that would happen.
Totally would happen. Yeah, absolutely.
Bocce balls!
Yeah.
Shriek that. Like, some dude's like, no, dude, you got to take my picture of me with this lady.
Oh, yeah. Immediately it would happen.
Immediately that would happen. Except now it would be like, I'm going to take a selfie of myself with this lady.
Yeah, she would be on a million iPhones.
Like, instantaneously.
Absolutely. Can you get in trouble for swimming in the Hudson River?
I assume so. I assume you can get in trouble for swimming in most public rivers. Especially because it's a major, like, boating thoroughfare.
Right.
And, like, you could get seriously hurt. I think you can get in trouble if you're putting yourself in a situation where you could, like, die.
Right. Yeah. So that's another thing to think about. Like, would they so easily release her to him?
I mean, I think they were just at such a loss of what to do in this situation. Like, this is something that doesn't happen ever. It's never happened before.
We have way more important things to take care of.
Yeah.
Than a naked lady walking out of the Hudson River.
Right.
You know, I get that. I get that. Like, that's actually kind of plausible. Like, okay, cool. You take her off our hands. I wouldn't
have called out Bauer today. Like, she shows up with, like, his wallet. I would have brought him in for questioning.
Right. Yeah.
And he's just like, what's going on? I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, this lady was found with this wallet. And he's like, oh my God, there she is. I mean, I've never seen this woman before. He
totally should have had, like, a friend at the police station or something.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, we're poking holes in the logic that is Splash now, yeah?
We're dropping rocks in the clear crystalline water that is Splash and sending ripples across the entire fabric of the movie.
Very nice, Sam. Very nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, like, what else is there in this movie that is important? What's something that, as we're remaking it today, that we haven't covered that you would want to change, or like put, like, this is 2010, here's a different thing, or 2010, this is 2018, here's a different thing. Wow, that was deeply troubling. You
just lost 8 years there for no apparent reason.
Oh God, what's happening to my life? I've just shown up in LA for the first time.
What kind of cold do you have?
Epic one.
Yeah, apparently. You lose years. Well, obviously, the movie would be somewhat different because of the existence of smartphones and social media and the effect that it has. You know, she would probably be a celebrity if she walked out of the Hudson River naked.
That's true. I agree with that.
She would be an Insta celebrity, you know?
Yeah. Like hashtag naked liberty.
Yeah, exactly.
And would Alan still work as a fruit import-exporter?
Probably not. It would probably be he could still do that. They still do that, don't they?
I assume so.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Someone has to.
Yeah.
He just doesn't really work with a bunch of people. He just kind of has an automated system.
Right.
And if anything, I find that more interesting because that can be very isolating. Like, right now, he works and he's surrounded by people. But if really all the people he has to interact with are his brother, well, that's tough.
Yeah.
And obviously, Freddy can't be a dude who drops change on the ground to look up women's skirts.
No. He doesn't even need that particular personality trait.
No.
He could just be one of those guys that hooks up with, I mean, he shows it like with those two girls at the bar. He could just be that kind of guy.
Absolutely.
That he just hooks up.
And the line, "You brought a date to one of your weddings," is such a good line.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's all very clear without him dropping the change to look up somebody's skirt.
Yeah, I mean, it for me, that was bad because A, it was terrible, but also because it's like, I don't think he needs to do that. He's such a charming guy. Yeah,
it's not necessary. I think that was put in there for the gag to pay off later, but you don't need to do it.
I think so too. But
It's not necessary at all.
I mean, I just thought of how to rewrite it if it was today, but even still, I don't want to.
Right. Yeah. It's just not important.
Good. All right. So we kind of have. Oh God, I was going to make a terrible pun. We kind of have the shape of the water of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I'm sorry.
But do you see the gigantic similarities?
Yeah. Well, what studio released Shape of Water? We just got to go back and release the Splash remake from a different studio in the same year.
Absolutely. There you go.
I mean, and the thing about Shape of Water is that it's not a comedy.
No, at all.
And this would be. I mean, if you were to remake this, would you still call it Splash or would you call it
I probably still would call it Splash.
I mean, I still would too. I think it's a good name. I'm just trying to think of a good parody of the Shape of Water name. The Splash of Water. The Shape of Splash. None of these are good.
No. I don't know why I thought to call it Freshen My Drink, but that makes no sense. A splash of cranberry? No. A mermaid's tail? Anyway,
So let's get into our cast. Let's talk about who we got.
Let's do this.
Do you want to start with Madison or do you want to start with Alan?
I'm fine with either one.
I had a lot of trouble with Madison actually, so let's start with Alan just because I thought of that one a lot easier.
Okay.
My Alan Bauer is Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, nice choice.
Yeah, he's actually a little bit young for the role, but they're remaking this movie. Of course, they'll skew a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Actually, no. How old was Tom Hanks in this movie?
Oh, he was quite young. I think he was maybe 27, 28, something like that.
And you know what? Michael B. Jordan's exactly the right age.
Yeah. That's a nice one.
It's a dude living in New York, just living his life, going to work, doing all his things. Like, Michael B. Jordan would be really good at that. And you kind of want the heartthrob of the day. Tom Hanks was kind of like the young, sexy guy of 1984. The young, sexy guy of 2018 is Michael B. Jordan.
Right. I like that. Mine was, can I tell you mine?
Of course.
Mine was Nat Wolff. Do you know who Nat Wolff is?
Tell me about Nat Wolff.
Nat Wolff is, I remember him most from, now the name of the movie completely escapes me.
Not Paper Towns.
No. Ansel Einhorn is in it, and he's dying of cancer. The Fault in Our Stars.
Right.
Nat Wolff is his blind friend.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I like that guy. I like him because of that movie, and I don't know. I think he's deep, and he can definitely play comedy.
I think so too, and because he was the comedic person in Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. I like him a lot. I actually think he'd be really good. Interesting. I don't want to decide on this because I kind of want to see what we end up with the rest of our cast. Because obviously Splash is a very, very white movie. Yeah. And I'd like it to not be that white anymore.
With my next two, I went a different route.
Talk about it. So we'll probably end up we'll kind of shape it as we go. But let's talk about that. Who do you have for Madison?
For Madison, I have Ana de Armas.
Tell me about Ana de Armas.
Or I can say it as my people say it, Ana de Armas. Ana de Armas is, she's like the new hot Latino actress. She's in, did you see Blade Runner 2049?
I did.
She is his...
she's the holographic lady.
She's the holographic girl, yeah.
Oh, she was so good.
Yeah. She's really good. And what's the other movie that she's in about the weapons dealers with...
It looks like Overdrive, War Dogs?
War Dogs. She's great in that too. War Dogs is insane because
I never saw it. Is it good?
Yeah, it really happened. It's about the two buffoons that got a $300 million arms contract with the government.
Right. I'm familiar with the movie, but I'm not a big fan of Miles Teller, so I never watched it.
Oh no, watch the movie because it's all Jonah Hill. That movie's all Jonah Hill's movie.
All right.
But she's great in that too. I like her a lot. I think she's really diverse and pretty awesome.
Cool. I love it. My Madison was an actress named Alexandra Daddario.
Oh yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah. She was in Baywatch, American Horror Story, and she did Percy Jackson. And
she was on Parenthood too.
Oh, was she?
As well as Michael B. Jordan.
Ha.
They were both.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
Guests on that. Yeah.
But I I picked her because she's one of those actresses that's kind of like teetering on the edge. Like we kind of know who she is.
Yeah.
But I feel like she's just shy of like that one big role that now everyone knows who she is.
Right.
And so that's kind of why I thought she might be an interesting choice.
I like that. I also like I would love to keep Madison, not because she's not quirky. She's just literally a fish out of water. I really love that about that character, though.
Absolutely. And I think that that's correct. And I think that's what you should do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really liked Ana de Armas in Blade Runner. I might lean more towards Ana de Armas just because of the way she portrayed the character in Blade Runner, just because that's kind of sort of character we want. This kind of person who kind of shapes who they are based on the person that they're with, but they are themselves so deep and interesting. And she's so tragic.
Right? Yeah.
Like basically the entirety of her character in Blade Runner was her, the movie Her.
Yeah. Yeah. Good call. Absolutely.
Let's do Ana de Armas.
Cool.
I'm sorry. How did your people pronounce it again?
Ana de Armas.
Ana de Armas. Love it. All right, great. Let's talk about Walter Kornbluth. Let's talk about who we could possibly get to replace Eugene Levy. Or as my people call it, Eugene Levy.
What a week I'm having.
For me, the only person I could I was kind of trying to go back to that comedy, like sketch comedy people, and I kind of toyed around with the ideas of both Key and Peele, but I ended up settling on Chris Gethard. Oh, yeah. And part of the reason why is because both Key and Peele almost are too confident.
Right.
And I kind of want that person who, in the back of their mind, still is that neurotic mess.
Right.
And that's why I thought Chris Gethard would be fun.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. Mine is William Jackson Harper.
All right.
Chidi from The Good Place.
Oh, Chidi's great. Oh, Chidi's amazing.
I thought he'd be a fun Walter Kornbluth.
Bumbling guy. Of course he would.
Yeah.
He would be the best. Oh, that's tough.
That is tough because I really like Gethard too.
All right. We'll put a pen in that because I think it'll depend on who we have for our Alan Bauer. Who do you have for your Freddy Bauer? Who do you have as a brother for...
I went with... do you know who Dustin Ibarra is?
I don't.
Did you ever see Kevin Probably Saves the World?
No. Talk to me about it. Because it was one of those movies that I considered watching, and I was like, I should watch this, and I just never did.
It's a TV show. It was with Jason Ritter.
Oh.
Who, if he wasn't older now, I would have probably picked him for Alan Bauer as well. But he's aged out, I feel, of Alan Bauer. But this guy Dustin Ibarra, he just plays this. He's a bigger guy, and on that particular show, he just plays this guy who he's very smart, but he's also very kind, and he just thinks the best of people. And any situation that you put him in, he's just like, yeah, I'm good with that, and he'll find the good in every situation. Whereas I would have liked to have seen him cover somebody like Freddy, because Freddy is a way more complex character than at face value. He's so much deeper. You know what well, we said it. We said it when he says, most people will never be that happy. I'll never be that happy. And then right there, you're like, oh, now I know who this guy is completely.
Absolutely. I agree with that, and I'm kind of leaning more towards your choices.
Okay.
So my Freddy Bauer was Kenan Thompson.
Ooh, I like that.
And just because he can it's a different kind of larger comedian.
Yeah.
But he can kind of go like that kind of crazy. And obviously his background is ridiculous sketch.
Yeah.
And so I kind of wanted it to be someone who's in a ridiculous sketch, who lives a ridiculous sketch life, but in a more grounded world. And that's what I thought would be interesting. But I like this idea of Dustin Ibarra just because it's an actor I've never heard of. So it's someone I want to promote and do more with.
Right.
But I feel like it's a package deal. Like we could, mix and match.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like, I kind of want to go with Destiny Barra for Freddy.
Okay, cool. By the way, I think you have just found the title for your autobiography.
What's
Sam.
that?
I think you should call it My Ridiculous Sketch Life.
I like it. I need to write more sketches.
There you go.
All right, so now that we have the brother, let's go back to Alan. Who is a better foil for Destiny Barra then? Say the name of your actor again.
Nat Wolff.
Nat Wolff or Michael B. Jordan?
A more straight-laced guy.
Not necessarily straight.
Right.
Just a good foil.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I might go with Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, I'm looking at his name because I wrote it down after you said it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at his name, and I think you may be right. Because he would definitely be... He's the guy that you look at and you go, well, nothing can be wrong in that guy's life.
Right.
You know?
And with Nat Wolff, he kind of played the comedic sidekick, and he's really, really good at that.
Yeah.
But we need him to be the straight-laced one here.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want him... I want him to be bad at cracking jokes. So that way, like, when Madison actually laughs at one of them, he's like, oh, wow.
Right.
And I feel like Nat Wolff would just kind of be like the naturally charming, funny guy.
Right.
Not that Michael B. Jordan isn't. I just think that he's a little bit more capable of being the bird in the surf kind of dude.
Right. Bird in the surf. I like that. It's a good name for a restaurant.
I would eat there.
Yeah. We're going to dinner at Bird in the Surf, guys. I like that. No, Michael B. Jordan.
Great.
Yep.
But then for Walter Kornbluth, for Eugene Levy, it's, oh man, I have a hard time saying no to Chidi.
Yeah. I mean, I just think of him going through all that crap, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be Chidi. That's what that character is.
Yeah.
So that brings me to the last actor that I had picked.
Okay.
And that was for Mrs. Stimler.
Yeah.
So my Mrs. Stimler is Carol Burnett.
Yes, that's brilliant. That would be amazing.
Because we need the goofy, completely committed to the bit sketch person. And
Yes.
we also need someone it needs to be an actress of a certain age.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I almost don't even want to say my choice. So,
who did you have?
Margot Martindale,
She's good too.
or as she's referred to on BoJack Horseman, beloved character actress Margot Martindale.
I mean,
but no, Carol Burnett.
Like that bit on BoJack is amazing, and she is great.
No, but you know what? You say the words Carol Burnett, and there's nobody else.
Yeah.
Ever in my book.
Margot Martindale actually would have been really good for the last character in the last movie that we did, but I can't go back.
Beloved character actress Margot Martindale.
Beloved character actress Margot Martindale.
Okay, so I cast a few others.
Yeah, so tell me who else you have.
Okay, I went so far as to do Dr. Ross.
Dr. Ross is
the guy with the mustache, the head doctor that's always yelling at Kornbluth.
Who puts her in the tank?
Yes. I picked Gary Cole for that.
Tell me why.
Because Gary can be assertive like that. He can be. Are we allowed to curse on the show?
Yeah, of course.
He can be a dick. He can be a funny dick.
He can. He's great in pretty much everything he's ever done.
Yeah, and he can come out with the put downs too. Like,
yeah.
So that's why I chose him for that. I even cast Jerry only because Jerry he works at the fruit market.
Oh, he's the like the assistant guy.
Yeah. He's Alan's friend. I did Jerry because that actor. I always sit around and I go, whatever happened to Bobby DeKiko? He was huge at that time.
What's the answer? Whatever happened to Bobby DeKiko?
Yeah. Well, he does ADR now. He does a lot of ADR.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I mean, if you go back, at that time he was in a movie called The Philadelphia Experiment. He was in Steven Spielberg's 1941. He was in Splash. He was in Splash?
Bobby
Bobby DeKiko, yeah.
I'm kidding.
Oh, sorry. But he was like in a million things back then, and then all of a sudden vanished.
Do you think it's because he like had kids or just decided to retire?
I have no idea. Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah, but I cast Manny as you say it, Jacinto. I say Jacinto, but Manny Jacinto as Jerry.
I mean, so you just pulled everyone from The Good Place.
I did because I love that show, but
because it's the best show on TV.
Yeah, absolutely, agreed. I even cast the doorman.
See, I looked at all of these characters, and part of me was like, I want to get a bunch of unknowns,
right?
Because I want to get a taste of like New York, and we're just like living in this world. But great, please keep going.
Well, the guy that I picked is Sebastian Maniscalco. Do you know that guy?
I have no clue who that is.
He's a stand-up comic. He's a very, very, very funny stand-up comic. Did you see the movie Tag?
Yes.
Well, he plays he's the officiant at the wedding. I mean, it's a tiny little part in that, but his whole stand-up is it's very sort of New York-ish humor. He speaks very slowly and pronounces everything. I don't know. I just saw him playing that role. I thought he'd be funny.
Well, I trust your opinion on what authentic New Yorkers would do and say and are, and I think that's great.
Thank you. And then my last two.
I think more people should talk about the movie Tag, because I thought Tag was great.
Tag was awesome. Are you kidding?
Yeah, it was so much fun.
I loved it. And it was touching. I even cast the Moron Twins, but I went a little stunt casty with the Moron Twins because I just thought it'd be funny.
I'm surprised you cast the Moron Twins and not Fat Jack.
See, I thought about Fat Jack, but then I got on your train where I was like, no, you know what? That would be a local hire. I would get somebody from New York, a New York actor that never gets any breaks to be Fat Jack.
Yeah.
No, I went with I want to do star cameos for the Moron Twins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to do Zach Braff and Dax Shepard.
Wow. Zach Braff
and Dax Shepard and
right. Dax Shepard, I'm totally on board for. But weirdly enough, you said Zach Braff, and I was more on board when I thought it was going to be Zac Efron. Like, honestly, I would do Dax Shepard and Zac Efron, just, like, being dummies at each other.
Morons.
And I think that would be hilarious.
I think Zac Efron would be amazing. I only went with Zach Braff because Braff and Dax Shepard get mistaken for each other all the time. And I would love to... Yes. And I would love to see them... I don't know. And I would love to see them be like, we're not related. You know, you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, that would be a funny bit. For that bit alone, we'll make it Zach Braff.
But they do. Zach has been on Dax's podcast before, and they just sat there and exchanged stories of how they keep getting mistaken for one another.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I didn't know that at all. Then, of course, make them brothers who are not related.
Right.
Oh, that's funny.
And that's it. That's as far as I got with recasting.
Good. I love it. I think those are good additions. All right. So then let's talk about writer-director. Did you have a writer-director, or did you have writers and a director?
I had a writer-director.
Okay. Then do you want to talk about that person first, or would you like me to go first with my individual picks?
I would love you to go first.
All right. So it's funny that you mentioned The Fault in Our Stars, because my writers is a writing team, and it's Scott Neustadter and Michael H. Weber.
Nice.
And they wrote The Fault in Our Stars and The Disaster Artist and 500 Days of Summer.
Ooh.
And I picked them because they do kind of these adaptations, but also these kind of romantic comedies, because that's, I mean, The Fault in Our Stars is a romance story, but then you have something like The Disaster Artist, which is just batshit crazy insane. And then you have something like 500 Days of Summer, which is also kind of a romantic story. And they kind of are able to take these quirky romantic stories, but they also are kind of able to do the comedy. And that's why I thought they would be a good pairing for this.
Right. I like that.
And then for my director, I had Mark Webb. Mark Webb, who did the Amazing Spider-Man movies, the middle ones, not the Raimi ones, not the new ones, the ones in the middle, the ones that are not as good.
Right.
But he also directed 500 Days of Summer, and he is a director very regularly if like he's like their in-house director on the TV show Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
I see.
So he's
Gotcha.
able to kind of take these romantic comedy things, but also quirk them up and like go zaniness with the songs. And that's the kind of director that he is. And so that's why I thought he would work as a director as well for this particular project.
Gotcha.
And he's also done like the big budget blockbuster, of course.
Right. Nice. I like it.
Talk to me about your writer-director.
Okay. My writer is someone you've probably never heard of before. His name is Kevin Arboe. I also toyed with him as director, but just writer for this one.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you said you had a writer-director.
Oh, I did, but no, I have a writer and a director.
Got it. Okay. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said both of mine. Okay. So you have Kevin Arboe of Benji the Dove.
Yes, correct. Which I'm in.
And I was going to say, because I also see Casanova Was a Woman, and I know you're in that one.
I've done 3 of his films.
Gosh, it seems as though you're slightly biased, but go on.
I am, because he wrote one called Fair Market Value that I'm in that has yet to come out. I feel like he co-wrote Benji the Dove, and he did a lot of script tweaking on Casanova Was a Woman. I like the way he writes a lot.
Okay.
He handles romantic comedy, but he always puts in the twist, and he always has really strong female characters.
Good. That's important.
Which I like a lot in his stories. They're actually female centric. Like, he would probably, if you gave him this, he would flip it so that it's more about her than him.
I always watch this movie and I kept thinking how funny it would be if Eugene Levy turns the hose on them and she stays human, but Tom Hanks turns into the mermaid. And I always just thought like that would be such a funny twist if like we get this far and we don't know, and then it turns out it's him.
Right.
I don't think that would work for the movie as it is now, but I do think that would be funny.
That would be funny. Totally.
Okay, cool. So that's interesting. All right, interesting choice. And then who do you have for director? And
then I did toy with him for director, which I'm not sure. It keeps nagging at me, but I picked Jeff Tomsic, who directed Tag.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. I just like the way that film was directed quite a bit, and I think he could handle the tenderness, the comedy, and the inevitable action sequences that would take place as well.
Right. So here's what I think I'd like to do. I would probably have Kevin Arboe do the first pass on the script, and then I would have Scott Neustadter and Michael H. Weber do Punch Up.
Got it.
But I do think I would lean more towards Mark Webb as the director.
Mark Webb, sure, man.
But I mean, by all means, let's get Kevin Arboe in there.
Yeah, he's a good contributor. Cool. I'm obviously biased, but I'm a fan. So cool.
Great. All right. So let me run through what we've got.
All right.
For Splash 2018, we've got Alan Bauer being played by Michael B. Jordan. We have Madison being played by Ana de Armas.
Very nice.
Thank you. Walter Kornbluth is being played by William Jackson Harper. Freddy Bauer is going to be played by Dustin Ibarra. Mrs. Stimler is going to be Carol Burnett.
Yes.
Dr. Ross will be played by Gary Cole. Jerry will be played by Manny Jacinto. Doorman is going to be Sebastian Maniscalco.
Maniscalco. Yep.
And then the Moron twins are going to be real life same person, Zach Braff and Dax Shepard.
Yeah.
And then this will be written. Our first pass is going to be done by Kevin Arboe.
Yep.
But then Punch Up will be done by Scott Neustadter and Michael H. Weber. And all of this will be directed by Mark Webb. And that is our remake of Splash.
Yeah.
So what do you think? You going to go watch this movie? You going to bring Harper to go see this movie?
Yeah, totally. I'll make her watch the remake and the old one.
Oh, man, that'll show her.
Yeah, she'll learn.
What's her favorite movie right now?
Her favorite movie right now? I don't know what to call it in America.
What?
Because they did 2 versions of this cartoon movie, so it's got 2 completely different names. I'm trying to think.
Oh, this is a deep cut. Apparently, I'm excited to know what this answer
it's like
was that I
it's
suddenly
Leap.
stumbled upon.
Is it Leap here in the States, and then something? I mean, it's really confusing because they even have 2 different casts They have
Well,
one.
it's an animated movie that's normally expected.
Yeah, but it's not a different language that they're speaking. It's Canadians speaking English, and then Americans speaking English.
That's so weird.
Yeah, that's what's weird about it.
So it's a Canadian movie?
I guess.
Is this Stacey's doing?
No, she has nothing to do with this. It's about dance.
Sure.
But Stacey has absolutely nothing to do with this. This is all. I think it's called Leap here in the States, and it's like
Life's greatest adventure begins with a single leap.
Is that the
Ellie
one?
Fanning, Dane DeHaan, Carly Rae Jepsen.
Right. That's the American cast.
Okay.
Just look down, and you'll see that two people will be listed for the same character name.
That's so weird.
Yeah. So it's called Leap here, but we have the DVD, the Canadian DVD, and it's a different name.
What's the name for the Canadian one?
I don't know. It's in there. It's in where we keep the DVDs, and I can't remember.
Okay, doesn't matter. An orphan girl dreams of becoming a ballerina and flees her rural.
I think it's Ballerina. I think it's called Ballerina, if I remember correctly.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Well, I'm glad your daughter likes it.
Yeah, she likes that one right now.
Oh no. No, I was going to say it's a box office failure, but no, it's not. No. The budget for this movie was $30 million. Opening weekend, it made $181,000. In the United States, it's grossed $24 million, but over the world, it's grossed $146 million, $147. So it's actually doing okay.
Yeah.
In the United States, though, it's not doing great.
It never got a theatrical release.
No?
No.
Oh.
So that's on DVDs, and I think it's on Prime or Netflix or something now.
Oh, wow.
So that's just based on that.
Well, that's great. I think it's really funny that her favorite movie is this really obscure pull.
I know. It's not a bad movie either. Pretty good.
Great.
Yeah.
Whoa. Mel Brooks is in this movie?
Yes. In the American one.
Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah.
Nat Wolff is in this movie.
Yep. That's right. In the American version.
Yeah. So's Kate McKinnon.
Yep.
So wait. So on the IMDb, there's a bunch of people listed as the voices, and then below that, it'll say like version US. So I think there are some people who it's the same voice, and there are some people who it's different.
But they're like big characters in the movie. It's not like, third guy from the right. It's like main character. And it's just a Canadian star as opposed to an American star.
That is so wild.
Yeah. It's a little...
All right.
Yep.
Well, cool. So I'm glad we took that little diversion to talk about this, because that's wild. Gene, talk to me a little bit about what you've been up to and things that you would like to promote.
Well, I made a short film called Sane People.
And it's great.
And when I say made, thank you. And when I say made, I did everything on it. I directed it, produced it, star in it, wrote it, edited it. I got a friend to do original music for it. I cast it. What else? And it's out at film festivals, and it's getting a nice buzz, and it's opening doors for me.
Any laurels?
Yeah, I'm getting laurels, which again, as I mentioned before we started recording, I didn't know that I wanted them, and now I want them. Laurels have entered my life. I'm shooting a film in Miami in December.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I get to play a really interesting character, which I cannot divulge, but it's awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a lead, and I'm very happy about it. And I get to be in Miami for a couple of weeks.
Is it written or directed by Kevin Arbowitz?
No. Funny enough, Kevin moved to Los Angeles, so I told him to just keep me posted because he needs his good luck charm in his movies.
Absolutely.
I decided that I was his good luck charm.
And I think that's a good decision. I think you are correct.
Yeah. Like, I ended up in Benji the Dove because he called me one day and he was like, hey, are you free on Thursday? Can you come in and do this? And I was like, yeah, dude, where do I have to go? And then he told me, and it was literally 15 minutes from my house.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah. I was like, dude, great. So, yeah.
So if people want to see your short or support it, is there a place they can go online, or not until it's done with the festival circuit?
When it's done with the festivals, I'll release it. It'll be on Vimeo. But right now, it's just on the festival circuit. I mean, you can find it. You can get alerts and stuff on Instagram at Sane People Movie.
Perfect. Wonderful.
Also Twitter at Sane People Movie. And it's got a fan page on Facebook that you can go to. The trailer is up on IMDb. It's also up on IMDb. I cut a trailer together for it, so that's exciting. And then possibly in January, I'm in callbacks right now for a workshop of From Here to Eternity.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
It is an old movie, an old novel, based on an old novel that takes place during just before Pearl Harbor. And that'll be fun. That's a Broadway workshop. So fingers crossed that it goes to, I may be going back to Broadway. So that'll be fun. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've got going on right now.
I love it. I want to say a big thank you. And then do you want anyone to follow you personally on any of the social medias?
Oh yeah, you can find me at Instagram is the only different one because there was already somebody there. Instagram is Gabriel 70. So that's the letter G and then the word Gabriel, Gabriel 70. That's Instagram. Everything else is at Gene Gabriel.
Love it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
And then if you want to find out more about the podcast, we are on Twitter and Instagram at Ideal Remake, or on Facebook, where we've got a little Facebook page. I have a little Facebook page that you can certainly go check out. And if you want to find out more about me, I'm Sam Gasch on Twitter, SamGasch. Gene, thank you so much for making me watch Splash. It was totally worth it.
You're welcome, Sam. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
You have been a delightful guest. You are welcome back anytime.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I mean, what kind of an episode we've been having?
What a week I'm having.
What an episode.
You want to know favorite line?
Yeah.
Freddy, dance with me. Not in front of the Teamsters.
Love it.